Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's going on YouTube? Diggy546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. So I did this video for the wide receiver position for all four teams in the NFC East. This time it's going to be about the defensive lines for every team in the NFC East. And let's start this off. I want to rank them on... So I did potential, versatility, and depth for the wide receiver position. I think for the D-line, I'm going to do depth, run stopping, and pass rush for the defensive line. And this is including outside linebackers. Anybody that's a pass rusher that's up on that front four and the nickel, they're a defensive lineman. So let's start off with the Cowboys, who I think, most people are going to put them in last place, but they do have some kind of star power at the top of their list with Demarcus Lawrence. I think right now, if you look at, the pass rushers in the NFC East, he's definitely up there. He has the potential to be, top 2 or 3, but he's had some down years. He has some times where he disappears, but when he's on, he really looks like a force. And it's funny that, Dallas has a Demarcus that harasses everybody for years, and then they draft another Demarcus that ends up being pretty good too. But just to go over them, Demarcus Lawrence, Randy Gregory, the guy who never plays because he's always suspended. Brent Urban is a guy that they picked up. He's a nice run stopper. I think they picked him up from the Bears. Neville Gallimore, he's their 3-tech. Decent roster. Basham they have. Odigizua they just drafted, so he's a guy that might get there and provide a spark for them. And then Dorrance Armstrong on the edge for them too. So Dallas has some nice pieces on their pass rush. With Aldon Smith, they were pretty good. It's just all about, can Randy Gregory stay on the field for them? Can he, knock off the rest and be really good for them? I think they have some nice pieces with Randy Gregory and Demarcus Lawrence there at the top. But if one of those guys get injured, they're kind of in bad shape. And that's pretty much the reality of the Cowboys roster. So with the Cowboys, I would definitely say, looking at their depth, not too strong there. Looking at their pass rush ability, I think that's definitely a better. It's better than than some teams, but it's not necessarily all we're looking for. And then when you're looking at the run stopping, I'm not too confident in their ability to stop the run this year, just like I wasn't last year, and especially when we're just including the defensive line, not including the linebacker moves that they made. And I don't necessarily feel like the linebackers that they added are going to be so powerful against the run. So pass rush, I say, is going to be decent to above average with that kind of potential. And then the run stopping, I'm just hoping that they could be average if I'm a Cowboys fan. And I'm going to kind of rank each team when we get to the end of this, but those are the defensive linemen for the Cowboys that you look out for. And again, I do not have the time at this point to go over every single strength and weakness of every guy on each one of these NFC East team roster. So if you're a Cowboys fan, if you're an Eagles fan, if you're a Washington fan, I don't have any issues with someone correcting me and letting me know something that I said wrong in this video. So let's move on to the Washington football team. And it's no secret where they're going to rank in these rankings. But let's just go down their list. Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne. There's their 4 first-round picks along the defensive line. And then you add in Tim Settle and you add in Matt Ioannidis. 2 guys who have gotten 5+ sacks. Matt Ioannidis got 8.5 sacks one year. This is a pass rushing nightmare. You got guys in the middle of the defensive line, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, who can stop the run and apply some pressure. You got Chase Young, who has a potential to be, the guy at pass rusher for this generation. And you got a Montez Sweat, who's the perfect Batman, even though I think he could be, or I would say perfect Robin, even though I think he could be a Batman on a lot of teams. I think Montez Sweat is in the perfect spot to have less attention on him, more on Chase Young. And I think he's going to eat just from that, because not having to deal with double team after double team is going to make him that much better of a player Washington is in great shape. I mean, great shape with the defensive line that they put together. And they lost Ryan Kerrigan, but it doesn't really matter because they're getting Matt Ioannidis back. And you think that Chase Young is probably going to take a step up, as well as Montez Sweat. So pass rushing, A+. Absolutely an A+. Run stopping. It seems like whenever they go against the Giants, they can't stop the run, no matter how good they are. And sometimes they can't even rush the passer. But it seems like that. But I'm going to go as far as like a league-wide thing. You would think that they should be okay stopping the run. I would say that, hopefully they can be at their floor is going to be average against the run. But their pass rush is going to be so fearsome that it's going to make up for all of their weaknesses. And then, of course, their depth. Their depth is probably the best, and maybe because we got another team here that's got some serious depth. But their depth is at least, in the top 3-4 teams in the NFL. Easily. They've got some serious depth, and, they might not have like 10 guys deep, but they got a nice 6 guys that you think could start for pretty much every other team in the league, besides the teams with a couple of freaks at their positions. So moving on to the Eagles, they're getting a little old here, and that's really the Eagles' biggest weakness. They've dealt with a lot of injuries in the past, but they also have got a lot of age here. So Fletcher Cox is, of course, your 3-tech who has been, harassing the NFL, harassing the Giants more specifically for years and years and years. Brandon Graham, another guy who is on the wrong side of 30, and he's ferocious. He's a problem too. Ryan Kerrigan, another guy, same thing. He's over 30. He's kind of on the downside of things, but pass rushers, especially edge guys, seem to last forever. They seem to be able to at least rush the passer deep into their career. So I think that they're both, him and Brandon Graham, if they can stay healthy, are going to be problems. And then you add in Javon Hargrave. I'm pretty sure he got injured last year. He's the run stuffer for them. He's the guy that they missed. And he's going to do a great job stuffing the run. And then you got your 2 young pass rushers, Derek Barnett and Josh Sweat, 2 athletic guys. Derek Barnett is someone I love coming out of college. And, he's coming as the 4th. These guys are your 4th and 5th edge players. So as far as depth on the edge, I think the Eagles take the cake here. Depth on the inside, I think, is between Washington and the Giants. And then you got Hassan Ridgeway, who's also there on the Eagles, who's going to get some depth on the inside of that line. So the Eagles, I say their pass rush is an A. With what we see on paper, their pass rush is an A. It's up there, definitely. Their run stopping ability with Javon Hargrave is going to be a lot better. Fletcher Cox is also good. So we'll see how they end up doing against the run. But from what I see now, minus their linebackers, just their defensive line, because they're going to need a little bit of help there. But just their defensive line, I would say, it is going to be pretty good against the run. I see them being, an above average run stopping team once you add in Javon Hargrave. So now I'm sure Giants fans have been waiting for this last one. The Giants have Leonard Williams, Azeez Ojulari. In my notes, I actually put Dalvin Thomas, and he's gone. He's gone, so, you can't include him. But Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, 340-pound dancing bear, Lorenzo Carter, Azeez Ojulari, B.J. Hill, Danny Shelton, and Afadi Odenigbo. Let's start with Leo. He's the 20-something million man now. He got his money. I'm expecting Leo to be at that level, that top 3-tech, pass rush and defensive tackle in the NFL. I expect him to return to that level just like he did last year. He took over some games. He really did it. So I need him to continue that level of play. He's our best defensive lineman. There's no debate at that point. So if he can continue what he's been doing, I'll be happy. Dexter Lawrence, he's got some potential to be a pass rusher down the road. But, he's so sudden and so quick for someone that's 340. And if he's lost some weight, maybe he's 330 now. But he's so sudden and quick for that. So I think he can put up about 4 or 5 sacks this year. Of course, he's not going to be playing that 3-tech, so it's going to be really difficult to get sacks. I don't think he'll play the 0. I don't think he'll play the nose because Danny Shelton will do that. But he's not going to be playing the 3-tech. So Dexter Lawrence is someone that I'm looking for to be a force against the run, as well as Leo. Lorenzo Carter is someone who was really good against the run. He's going to be an edge guy for us. Really good against the run. Was getting a little bit better in the past. And BJ Hill is someone who's been a nice pass rusher for us in spots, but he hasn't really gotten all the opportunity. And then you have guys like Austin Johnson, RJ McIntosh, who are all, really good players, especially against the run. And they can get some real nice push in the pocket. So I would think that our defensive tackle depth, especially when you add in Danny Shelton too, who's going to be a monster in the run game because he's so huge. And, lining him beside Dexter Lawrence is just a lot of beef to move around. So I would definitely put us right behind Washington as far as defensive tackle, inside, depth. And then you add in Azeez Ojulari, who's going to be an edge guy for us, who's going to be a pass rushing specialist. You usually don't expect all that from a pass rusher in his rookie year. We'll see how it goes, along with Ellerson Smith, another guy with a lot of potential. But if, Azeez Ojulari can really hit the ground running, that'll help the Giants pass rush a lot. Of course, we need Lorenzo Carter to give us more in the pass rush. We need Zemini Crickets, I call him, O'Shane Ximines, to step it up in the pass rush. If one of those guys can really flip the switch, it'll make everything else go, because we know we'll get from Leonard Williams. We just have to have someone else to give us, that kind of, to take the load off of Leonard Williams. Let him get some of the singles sometimes. And then Afadi Odenigbo, he's a guy that some fans, it's been kind of a debate. Some fans think he's going to just play that outside linebacker spot, especially on, early downs. And then on the inside, he's going to move to the inside on third down and be that, 3-tech pass rusher, or be that pass rusher right beside Leonard Williams. So I don't know what's going to happen, how they'll use him. I was thinking he would be a full-time inside defensive end for us, because he was so good for that on the Vikings. And when they moved him outside, he couldn't really do much. But I think he's got a lot of potential wherever we play him. I think he's a candidate to get about 7 to 8 sacks. If he really blows us away, maybe 10, because, sacks come in bunches. But I think Afadi Odenigbo is a sneaky good sign, and I'm looking for him to be part of a pretty ferocious pass rush, more than some people think that the Giants could possibly have. So as far as the pass rush with the Giants, there's probably the most projection as far as if we have a good pass rush is coming from Leonard Williams. We know is going to be a good pass rusher for us. But the rest of the guys, it's more of a projection. Odenigbo, you can maybe say he's a good for like 5 or 6 sacks. But other than that, Azeez Ojulari, he's a young guy, never played in the NFL. Lorenzo Carter, a projection. O'Shane Ximines, a projection. He's got a lot of moves, but he just hasn't been able to put it together, and he hasn't been able to stay healthy. We have 2 defensive ends, edge guys, coming off of season-ending injuries. So we have to consider that. So as far as pass rush, I'm going to put it as a B for right now. But as far as run stopping, I'll have them probably at the top of this list with all of the depth that we have on the inside. So now let's look at this. Let's rank these teams from first to last in each of the 3 categories that I set out. Depth, I would say the Eagles have the most depth on the defensive line. Washington will be in second place. And then the Giants will be in third place. And then the Cowboys will be in fourth. When you look at run stopping, I'm putting the Giants at the top because, of course, of the guys that we do have, they're all dominant against the run. Maybe not as much against the pass. But I'm going to put the Giants number 1. I'm going to put Washington number 2. Philly number 3 as a close number 3 because they've got some pluggers there. And then that Dallas will be 4. And then when you look at pass rush, Giants fans aren't gonna like this, but I'm calling it the way I see it right now. In July, this could all change. But pass rush, I'm gonna say that Washington is, of course, number 1. Everybody they have can rush the passer. The Eagles are gonna be number 2. Dallas is number 3 because of the guys that they have there. Demarcus Lawrence and Randy Gregory are proven guys who can get after the passer. And then the Giants at a close number 4 because Leonard Williams has kind of shown that he can dominate, but there's no proven number 2 behind Leonard Williams. And of course, Giants fans, we were in the top, 16 for sacks last year. So we showed that we can get after the passer. but that came from some of our linebackers, came from some DBs. So I expect if this defensive line by themselves can't get after the passer, we're going to be sending a lot more blitzes. And I expect that we will do that. But you guys let me know what you think of my rankings. What do you think? Where do you think the Giants and the Eagles and Cowboys and Washington, where do you think they rank as far as depth, pass rush, and run stopping? So let me know. If you made it this deep into the video, come on, just hit the subscribe button. I make Giants content primarily, draft content secondarily, and during the season, I'm going to be doing a lot of reacting to pretty much most of the NFL games and everything NFL. So if you made it this deep, go ahead and join the D6 squad.